good afternoon, everybody. Finally getting back to doing some videos. I know it's been a while, but I've been working on getting my permanent electric into my garage. But today's a new day. Beautiful day here. It's about November 10th, 11th, something like that. I don't know. A little bit breezy. Hopefully you don't have no wind noise. Probably about, I guess it's probably about 80 degrees out here. Not quite that with the breeze. Probably closer to 75. So for November, I'll take that any day. Let's see what it is. Now, actually, right at 70 degrees. So hopefully I have a series of videos coming out. I have one coming out, or should have come out already. You've seen it for the car show that we had, Oktoberfest in Meadview. Run into some problems. My hard drive crashed on my computer, so I'm working on getting that uploaded, and now we're going to move on to some fun projects. Like I say, I've been working on my permanent power for my garage. Got my inspection last week. I've done all the work myself. There we go. Put in a 100 amp sub panel from over at my pole. Run it in here. Got all my lights hooked up now. Got my air compressor. That's one thing I've really been missing. I've got a little air compressor, but it don't work real well for doing much sanding or anything like that. Put in a separate 30 amp circuit for just the welder, and I got plenty of outlets. Put in two plugs for the welder, and I know 30 amp, it's only 15 amp plug, but that's because my little Hobart 140 handler just has, it's a 110 plug-in. But in order to get the full 140 amps out of a welding, you gotta have a 30 amp circuit. Like I say, everything passed. So today we're getting back on the Vicky. Been a while, been sitting in here gathering dust while I was working on everything else, and so today we're getting started. I'm working on my panels and my alignment and that kind of stuff. I'll show you this one over here. When I put on the replacement panels, I couldn't really line them up because I had to do work on the fenders. There were different doors that went on this. So you can see on this door here. Why is that doing that? There we go. You can see my gap there is not what it should be. It's hard to tell, but if you look at the rockers down here, I got a big gap here. Actually, all along this one. But now I got my fenders done. Now the doors on it. Looks like I need to align this one a little more. You can see this gap here is not real good. And so I got all the replacement panels on there, and now I gotta work on the gap. So we started on this one here today. And it's actually not too bad on the bottom there now. This rocker panel was in about a half an inch. It tapered in under. So basically what I had to do was I come in and I cut this all free here. I had to, no, that camera don't like that light, does it? Got it out where it needed to be. And then I had to cut a piece, laid a 1/2 inch piece in here. So it was 1/2 inch this way, 1/4 inch this way. And I had somewhere here. I've got a piece of one of the patch panels left over. So that's what I hung on to it in case I need it. And so that's, I think it's probably 16 gauge. I've got some other stuff I bought, and I think it's 19. They didn't have any 18. This might be 18. But so that's what I'm doing today. I'll get that. I'll probably work on one side at a time. But I'll finish getting this cleaned up. Got my flapper wheel there. I got my little roll lock. And so I'll get that cleaned up and shut the door. I'll throw the fender back on, see how it lines up. I do know on the fender it has 2 attachment holes down here on the bottom. Oh yeah, you can see those right there. Well, the replacement piece, actually I think I made this one, doesn't have the hole, so I'm gonna have to drill. I'm gonna have to either drill and weld some nuts in there, or I've been looking for an excuse to buy a rib nut set. We got to go to town on Tuesday, so Harbor Freight might be a stop on the way. Give me some rib nuts and do it that way. But regardless, I got to throw that fender back on, tighten it down, look at the gap on the door, and then get that. And they actually, I don't know if I still have them. There's some shims you can put in there if you need to go up or down. I may have to make some, but that's my process right now. Like I said, I get that fender, check the gaps on it, and then I started working on this. Was the last thing I done on it. I started working on this gap back here. This was, you can see it tightens up pretty tight right there. And so basically what I'm doing is I make a cut, and I'll work that metal back and widen that gap out. Get it where it's better. And you know, these old coats, they didn't come from the factory with good gaps, but I'm going to get it as close as I can. I'm not going to make a show rig out of it. Yeah, I'll take it to some car shows and stuff, but it's going to be a driver too, so it don't have to be perfect. And I'll get them as close as I can and get that done, get all my gaps done, and then Harbor Freight, I bought a new primer gun and a new paint gun and a paint stand there, or a paint gun stand. I kind of used a gravity feed, high volume, low pressure, high volume, whichever way it is, when we painted my Jeep. But I didn't get to use it much because I started painting the Jeep and just used the Eastwood single stage. And that was back in 2014, and it's held up good. But I didn't get to use the gun much because I painted a little bit, and my son said, "Hey, let me try that." And he pretty much finished it off. But I already got me some colors picked out, and get all my gaps, get those straightened out. Then I'm going to I'm going to get some primer, shoot the whole thing with primer, one coat, so I can block it again. And then I'm going to start doing all my jams. And so the top's going to be black and the bottom white, and it has stainless that goes across all of this. So I'm going to get my jams done. I'm going to have to work on some of my stainless again. I've got a polisher over here. I've polished some of it. Not too bad. When I get ready to do some of that, I'll set up and show you guys how to do that. But for right now, I'm going to get lined back out here. I'll set you guys up on my tripod, and take you along with me, and when I get to certain points, I'll show you where I'm at and what I've done. Okay, well, that wasn't too bad. Had a little bit there in the old part of that A-pillar there where there's still some thin material rust underneath it. So had to be real careful, and just little dabs of weld, and then also used a coat hanger and got some new metal down in there. Got it cleaned up pretty good. I don't know if you guys can see there or not, but a few little pinholes there. They're welded good. You can kind of see right there, a couple right in there. So what I'll do is once I get all my fit and finish done there, like I say, next I'll put on the fender, make sure that lines up good. I got to do some checking here because this here, I'm pretty sure is supposed to be closed, so I'll have to make me a little closure for that and weld it onto here and here. And Then if my fender fits good, you guys all lined up, I'll probably move on to this back one. I'll wait till I get more than one thing done, but I'll probably go ahead and put me a little bit of fiberglass with fiber. You know, it's good for anywhere you're going to have, you could have moisture get in. I had never used it before, and then I was watching some guys on YouTube that was using it, but it's kind of hard to read now, but it's called Everglass short strand fibered reinforced body filler. Basically it's like Bondo, only and actually you can see some right here. There was pretty good gouges right there and stuff that I couldn't get in there to straighten them out, so I actually used it. And then anywhere I put patch panels where I joined them, I went ahead and put it in. So there's actually this here. I've replaced this one here all the way back on both sides, and so I fiberglassed in before I put the body filler on, the Bondo. It just gives you more moisture resistance, so moisture can't get in there and stuff. So I'm gonna get back here and set you guys up again and throw my fender on and see how it fits. Okay, we got the fender on there. I've got one nut down in there when I take it out because it's kind of poked out there. I know it lines up, and I've got another one that goes in up here. But I can at least see my gap now, and I can see I got to do a little bit of work right there. Take that in. Well, I'll have to get under here. Yeah. I'll have to get in there and get that fender lined up on that door, and then I'll have to take and body work this in so that those match up. You can kind of maybe see there I got a pretty good gap. So I'll give me a hammer and dolly and work that a little bit. Take the fender back off. I'm going to dress up the threads on that one bolt in there. Got another one that goes in up here, and it's supposed to have like a rubber cork pad under it, so that'll bring that up a little bit as well. And then I can adjust that some more. So, but we're looking pretty good right there. I've got a spot right here in the door that I got to body work it. It feels like it comes out right there, so I'll go to work on this here, get that straightened out, figure out what I got to do for my end cap in there, and figure out what I got to do for my bolts to come up through and hold that fender on the bottom. So let me get situated around here a little bit, and I'll set you guys up. And okay, well, it's been a few hours. The stuff I was doing was pretty boring and no sense in showing. I had to chase the threads on the bolt here. It was inside, kind of in the firewall. Got that done, so the fender goes on easier, better. Massaged this down here a little bit. Started working on getting these lined up and seeing where they're going to go. Well, in the process, I was starting to massage the rocker panel there a little bit. Things were lining up pretty good, and I pulled on the fender here, and it lined up better. Well, then I got looking. It's been a long time since I've worked on this thing. A long time since I tore it apart. I tore it apart back in probably 2006, 2007. So then I noticed that I also have this well, I got to looking and thinking about it, and there's another part that goes here. Actually, two of them. That's for the other side. So I went out in my shed, gathered stuff up that I haven't brought over here yet, so I could get it fixed. So that goes on there. And then so what I do with my other pieces. Oh, right here. You got to put that on, and then this apparently mounts one of these. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Anyhow, it's got to mount here somewhere. And then that goes over like a big jigsaw puzzle, and attach it to this. So I got to do some digging around and see if I have these, because I need 1, 2, 3, I don't know, 4 or 5 to get this side done. So I'll have to go through my stuff, see if I got my clips, because I ordered a bunch of new clips for this, and not sure why I never put them together. Maybe because I didn't have the fenders ready. So I'll dig through all my stuff here. Hopefully that's a couple of right there. If not, I will temporarily put some probably 5/16 bolts in it, and then figure out which clips I need, so I can finish getting the fender on again, and then get that rocker panel right there finished, massaged and closed in. And then I read through my manual. You can actually put shims up here, so that brings this up and this is even. And you can put them on the bottom of the fender, where it attaches down there if you need it to go down. So I actually went out, I had a couple old fenders out there out of the parts car I bought. I cut this fender mount off, both of them, and made me some shims, and it definitely made a difference. And now I'll take and draw a couple of these out on the piece of metal before I bolt them in there. So I will figure out what I have for my nuts and clips, all that stuff, and when I get it figured out and put on there, I will bring you guys back and show you. Okay, well, I'm back. Good news is I found some of my clips. Found bolts that go with them. I figured out how that went on. I had to turn those clips over so that could mount right, I guess. It looks like it's supposed to mount. But the other thing I got to do is now I've got another little that goes on down there, and I'm not sure what. So I am going to take a break right here. And I've been organizing my shop since I got my electricity in here, but I haven't got everything out of my container. So I'm going to start going through, because I know I have bags of bolts and clips and somewhere I'm going to have to look, because I'm not sure what that other little piece is. And nothing on this side, I don't believe. I don't know. I'll pull this fender as well, and I'll crawl into there and see what's there. It may be that there's just another piece that needed added to that inner rocker when I replaced it, and it wasn't long enough. These aftermarket replacement stuff sometimes a pain in the butt. So I may be doing some more welding on this yet, because I'll pull that other side off, because it looks like there may be a lip hanging out there then that is supposed to get that attached to it. So I'm going to take a break on this video right now and go through. I got all my old bolts, nuts, etc. that I've gathered, and fortunately I was able to find the one, but I'm going to go through, because I got new bags of bolts and clips and stuff that I ordered for this when I was really working on it last year. So don't know how long this video is. This may be the first video in the series, and if it is, I appreciate you guys coming along with me, and we'll see you on the next one. And if not, we'll continue where we left off. Have a good one. Please comment, like, subscribe, share. Subscribing doesn't cost you anything. It basically, you get notified whenever I drop a new video, and with this project now, getting back on it, there's going to be quite a few videos. So if you leave a comment, subscribe, share it with your friends so they can see what's going on, and have a good one. Thanks.